18, we're gonna get really creative with which elements we stack using different stamps that aren't necessarily flower stamps. So first you're gonna grab stamp number 18, and I did a dark navy color. I'm gonna add a new layer for it and just stamp it right down. I'm gonna grab my arrow tool and I just wanna adjust the angle using this little green dot. Now the first thing we wanna do is add in this yellow element here. So I'm going to add a new layer, and that is actually floral stamp number 32. So I'm gonna grab stamp number 32 and yellow. I'm just gonna stamp it down. It doesn't matter that it's too big because we're gonna grab our arrow tool and we're gonna shrink it down and just slide it right into place. Adjust the angle if you'd like, and we'll just put him right there. Just the angle a little bit more. And now I also want to do an arc over this. So I'm gonna keep it on the same layer. You could do a separate layer too, but I'm just gonna go ahead and, actually, let's go ahead and do a new layer because I wanna show you something. So we have our monoline and we're gonna do our arc. And like I showed you last time, you can make it a perfect arc by holding down your pen and then holding down your finger, whichever look you prefer. And then I'm just gonna complete the shape so that I can fill it in. So now I want to tap clipping mask. Whoop. So this is what I was gonna show you. It won't work because it only applies to the layer directly below it. So first we need to do a clipping mask on the yellow one. Even though that doesn't actually do anything, it would if the yellow was hanging off the page. Now we can also apply clipping mask to that one and it will work. So that's what I wanted to show you, that if you wanted to stack them, everything above that flower has to have a clipping mask for it to work like you want it to. So right between these two layers, so tap your layer with the yellow, we are gonna add those little stems. So I'm gonna grab yellow, and that is actually one of the floral stems. So down here past the leaves, you've got floral stem number 2 with kind of a heart leaf on top. And I'm just gonna stamp that down. It's huge right now, that's okay. Again, we will grab our arrow tool and just shrink it right down and adjust it into place so it fits nicely. So keep shrinking it until it fits well. And we want it to be the exact same size on the other side, so we will swipe left, duplicate, tap our arrow tool, and then we want to flip it. So we're going to tap flip horizontal down here, and then again use the little green dot to rotate it into place. So you can see how stamps, it looks like I spent a lot of time drawing, but all I'm doing is using stamps. So it makes really quick work of when I am creating folk art pieces. So now I'm going to grab the dark blue again and our monoline. We're going to make it pretty fine here, and I'm just going to add some dots onto my yellow layer. I could do a new layer, but I'm just gonna go ahead and just stamp it right on. And I did 5 last time, but that is up to you. So we've got the main part of our flower done. We want to now add our little details, add a new layer. You can see it has a clipping mask applied, but if I tap and hold and drag it below, that clipping mask automatically goes away. So I'm going to grab a dark yellow, and in between each petal, make that a bigger monoline size, I'm just gonna draw a straight little line. And I'm gonna go ahead and do the elements that use the monoline brush since I'm already on it. So I'm gonna grab my dark teal, add my stem, again, hold my pencil down to create a perfectly straight line. I'm gonna do 3 dots on each side here. And then I am now going to grab flower number 26 and dark pink. And I'm just gonna go ahead and stamp 1 on each line that we drew. So now we've got our little flower done. And here's another thing I'd like to show you. So this time I didn't use another layer for my pink flower. So if I wanted to move and adjust one, it would be really hard because I have all these elements on the same layer. So if I go back and undo that and I add a new layer and then do my flower stamps, it's so much easier to be able to adjust the angle because I've done it on another layer. Now you can actually max out the number of layers that you have on Procreate, but it is a ton of layers on these flowers. You don't have to worry about that, but I have actually maxed out the layers before. So sometimes when that happens, I'll have to group certain things. Like it's really easy to tap that layer and merge down, since those are both the same element, and keep those on the same layer. Or things that you think would be easy to edit, look for those and merge those down if you ever do happen to max out your layers. So I am now just going to pinch all my layers down, and now I've got my flower complete all on one layer.